let's just see. So the first card you have for your past is the Ace of Cups. Yeah, this can be either one way or the other way. It's the most emotional card, huge emotion. So it can either be huge love or huge hurt or huge something, just overwhelming emotions. It can be a lot of other things as well. It can be spiritual process. I think I'm actually seeing a revelation in this card, something. I think you actually had a big shock. I think there was a great big huge shock that happened in your life. And I think it was, in your more distant past though, the shock was. And I think at this time, I think you're looking back over all of that, and I think you're finally realizing that this all actually happened for the best. I think at the time, obviously, it would have felt the opposite. It felt terrible at the time. But, a lot of growth came out of that. There are a lot of tears, obviously. Look at these tears flowing over this cup. But, I think there was a time when you just could not stop crying. And it might have been way longer than you felt that you should have been crying. You might have even been a bit angry with yourself for not being over things faster. But, don't be angry with yourself. I know you're not now, but I mean, never ever, if you're ever like that, never ever be like that, because time is just, it doesn't matter how long it takes. It takes everyone different times to get over things. Sometimes people take years and years to get over things. Sometimes it takes other people a month or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all an individual thing. But yeah, if you look at these, if you look at this card again and you look at the tears flowing over, growth is coming out of the tears because there are these beautiful water lilies at the bottom. So all of this pain you went through really, really helped you to grow. I know that might sound a bit cringy, but it's true. If you had have stayed with this person, you definitely wouldn't be where you are right now. I'm seeing a lot of spiritual growth as well. I'm seeing practical growth as well. I think out of this sad time, this heartbreak, I think you might have built something up for yourself, whether that was a business, a new career, something practical I'm seeing as well. And I think you also, it might be that, but it might be another thing as well. I think there was something that you started doing that you actually totally 100% love doing. It comes straight from your heart. Now, it might be this business or the work, or it might be a separate thing that you're doing as well. But yeah, this is the most emotional card of all. So whatever it was that you started doing after you've kind of, came out of this heartbreak, came straight from your heart. And I think it got you through a lot of the heartbreak as well and helped you to move on. That's what I'm seeing in that card. The next card you have your past is the King of Cups. Yeah, the King of Cups can be a little bit difficult sometimes. I mean, he can be tricky sometimes. Sometimes he's fine. Depends on what else is around him, what other cards are around. And, I see different things each time I look at him. Sometimes he seems fine, he seems calm. Sometimes he seems a little bit like he's up to tricks or something. So about this person and, what came to light, I think, I think when you're with this person in the beginning of this relationship, things were very, very passionate, actually, very passionate. And then I think after a while, this person started to become a little bit distant, and then more and more distant as time went on, because this king's on an island. He's all by himself, and obviously he's surrounded by water. So this ex, so whoever this was surrounded by your emotions, and maybe even by your tears. What I mean by that is, they knew you were upset. It was all around them. Your heartbreak, your sadness, everything was all around them. So they knew. I mean, they might have said, oh, I didn't know anything was wrong. But they knew. They absolutely knew. They knew that. It was all around them. And they knew you could feel this distance. But they didn't do anything about this. And I think as time went on, you just became more and more paranoid, I think. And I think there was a reason why you weren't just paranoid out of nowhere. There was a good reason why that was. I think they either went into some kind of third-party situation, or they were talking to other people, or they were at least looking around at other people, looking at what's out there. Look at this. Look at this king's wandering eye. Look at the way his eyes are looking from side to side. That's what I'm seeing. You know, this king's body's facing us, but his eyes and his head are looking to one side. So I think they were physically with you, but their mind and their eyes and everything else was, you know, looking at other people, looking somewhere else. That's what I'm seeing. And that's what you found out, I think. So it was a huge shock. It was really terrible at the time, but it was a huge, huge blessing in disguise. You know, what would your life be like now if you were still in this relationship? You'd probably still be feeling paranoid, worried, questioning yourself, really alone, you know, and that's the feeling I'm getting around that. It's like a horrible feeling, and you're very, 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 well, you're way better off, let's say, to be out of all of that. And I think, yeah, this is what you're coming to realize. So the last card you have for your past is the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, I've seen this before in your readings, this card and this kind of thing that I'm seeing here. I think you grew a lot in so many ways after you left this person, especially financially. Obviously, this is the Six of Pentacles. So I think this all happened when you separated, because I think they might have even been a little bit of a drain, or more than a little bit, on you financially. So, you know, if that resonates, I'm so glad you're away from this person. So glad. I'm getting the feeling that things haven't been that great for them since this separation. I'm actually seeing them being in some kind of trouble at one time when you were with them, or around that time. And I think you might have helped them out of some kind of trouble maybe. And now that you're not around them anymore, they might be going back, or they might have gone back to some of their kind of old ways or something. Some of their not so good ways. I don't like to point out karma or talk about that kind of thing, or revenge or anything, and things like that. But this is what I'm seeing. It's almost like the scores evening up. And I don't even like saying things like that, because there's no competition, there's no score, we're not playing sport. But that's the only way I can think of to describe this. You know, I'm seeing that when you were with them, things were very, very bad, and they were kind of hiding things and not showing you what was going on. And now that you are not with them anymore, they're facing a lot of their old problems. You help them out of things, but I think now that you're not there, they're having to face all of this by themselves again, and it's not good. And they're getting back into a lot of their old habits and a lot of things that really changed when you were with them. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the first card you have your present is the Emperor. Yeah, so I don't mean to keep on talking about this person, but this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing all this, I think, to show how all of this impacted you, but also how this helped you to grow. I think that's why I'm seeing so much about this ex, because I think you're looking back at this and you're realizing, even though you had a horrible time, especially toward the end and after the separation, you can see how hugely strong you are compared to the way you were, and that you grew out of all of that, which is what I was seeing in the Ace of Cups. So yeah, I think when you got away from them, when you were in this process of getting away, I think you had to be quite ruthless, quite vigilant. I think they're actually a pretty good talker, or a persuasive talker. So, you know, you had to be really careful and really strong to really, really force yourself not to go back, not even to listen to them in case they said something and that would send you all the way back again. You know, so I think you had to really keep up that strength and that vigilance, and that helped you to kind of push forward with this business or this thing that I was seeing as well. And so you gained so much strength out of this inside yourself and everywhere else. And I think this is also helping. I think you're still getting there. You're not quite where you want to be yet, but you're on the way there. And everything you learned, everything you've been through, especially the bad things, that's what pushed you forward. And so I'm starting to see why I keep on seeing this axe here. So Yeah, I think you might actually be around someone else now. You might be in a relationship, or you might just be talking to someone. I think you still have your guard up a little bit, like this emperor who's wearing a suit of armor. But I think the guard will eventually gradually calm down, because I think you'll just keep on getting stronger and stronger inside yourself. And as you get stronger, you won't need that armor around you anymore, because you'll already be strong. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have your present is the Tower. I think you might have had this in your last reading, but I might be wrong. I don't know, I can't remember, but I'm just getting a feeling of seeing that again. So yeah, again with this axe, I know I keep on seeing them, but I think what's happening is why they're not satisfied, why are they going back to their old things in the Six of Pentacles. I think they might be having, yeah, I'm actually seeing, this is what I'm seeing, a lot of these, a big series of all these little short relationships, one after another, and everyone they're with is the big love of their life, and they love them, they're the best person in the world, and all of that, and then they're very short-lived. They're very vocal, very enthusiastic about each person, but none of them last, because they're not built on anything strong. And the thing is, I think they actually need someone strong to support them, and they had that in you, but they don't have that anymore. And I don't think they have it in them to support someone else. They might be able to do that eventually, but they're not able to do that now, I don't think. They have a lot of growing to do. And, obviously taking on all of these different relationships to stop them from feeling lonely isn't going to help that. It hasn't worked so far, and it's not going to work. So, they're going to have to build up their own strength properly before they can even think about taking on any kind of proper relationships. Otherwise, they'll all be built on these kind of shaky foundations. That's what I'm seeing. Again, this is all helpful for you to see where you've come from, to see how strong you are. Even when you were with them, they really lent on you, they relied on you for so much, and now you're not there anymore. So that shows your strength at that time. It shows your strength when you went through the thing, when you had to get away, and it shows your strength after that. So I think the big thing here is, I know I sound like I'm just talking about an ex all the time, but I'm not. I'm talking about how you grew after that, and how you grew while you were there, and how this has been really good for you, whether you realize that or not. I think you do. I think this is what you're starting to see. So the last card you have for your present is the Queen of Cups. Yeah, I think you're a really, really intuitive person. You have this really unusual combination of, intuition and being really down to earth as well. It's a really unique combination of things to have. Not many people have both of those. And I think you use both of these things in your work, in your business, or in your business. You use them really well. You're able to identify with many, many different kinds of people, and I think that's crucial to the kind of work you do. I think you might have to kind of talk to lots of different people or meet with them or something, and that ability really helps you in that. The other thing I'm seeing here is, I hope this doesn't sound too strange. Okay, I'll just tell you what I'm seeing. Okay, don't be upset by this. I think you might have two people watching over you. I think they're watching over you in your low times. That's when they come out and watch over you. When you're feeling a bit down, they come out to, well, they come out, but they're around to protect you at that time. I don't know if this is a couple. They're not on the earth. They're not physical humans. It's definitely two people. One of them has a lot in common with you. The other one doesn't have anything at all in common with you. I keep on seeing a man and a woman, and I think the woman is who you have the most, you have the most in common with the woman, I should say. And I don't know if this is going to make sense to anyone, but I'm seeing plants, gardens, the outdoors, green leaves, things like that in relation to one of these people. I don't know whether, and healing, I don't know whether one of them was good at kind of fixing, healing plants or gardens. I don't know. So I know that sounds crazy, but that's what I'm seeing with that. So Again, I don't want to upset anyone, but hopefully the right person will hear this, because whoever this resonates with, they're being comforted by both of these people. So, if this resonates and you ever feel in your low moments that you feel very low, very low, very low, if you've ever felt like this, I'm so low, and then suddenly you feel warmth and you feel like, oh, I'm lighter again, I don't feel so bad, I don't even know why, nothing happened, but I just suddenly feel lighter and warmer and happier. That's why. That's all I want to say there. So the first card you have for your future is the Magician. I love this card. Okay, I'm seeing a few interesting things in here. I think you're either in a new relationship or you might just be talking to someone, because I can't see how new this is. It's obviously new in relation to this old ex or whatever. But yeah, it's someone you talk to. I'm seeing a lot of talking, eloquence. And I think the thing you really like about each other is where your minds are, if that makes sense. You both admire each other's minds. You find each other interesting and your opinions interesting and all of that. There's also a lot of passion here, which is really nice to see. And there's also a really strong foundation that's building. And I think that's being built through your minds, through your conversations, if that makes sense. I can't think of a better way to say that, but I hope you understand what I mean. And that's really good that that's where your foundation's building, because, I mean, passion's fantastic, and you do have passion. But of course, you can't base everything on passion, especially when you have to live with the person day after day. So, you have passion, you have this intellectual stimulation between each other, and that's where your foundations are built on. The mind, that's what I'm seeing. So yeah, I think this has a really good chance of being really solid, really stable, and exciting as well. I'm seeing a lot of really interesting, quite animated conversations, actually. So this is fantastic, really interesting. I'm also seeing you, or maybe your partner, or it might even be both of you, using your words and using your wit to sort of remove someone or ward someone off, get them away from you, if that makes sense. I think someone might have been trying to bother you or get in between your relationship, or maybe they were trying to influence your partner in some way. I'm seeing words being used, clever words, to kind of solve this problem and get them out of the way, if that makes sense. I'm not seeing arguing, anger, I'm not seeing anything like that. I'm not seeing any little shady things or any things that were said. I think this was something very clever, very different. The magician's really smart, very, very clever. He can use his intelligence to get what he wants without causing any kind of drama or problems. So, yeah, I think that's what was happening, I think this is what's going to happen. This is in your future, if it hasn't already. I think it's going to be resolved. If you're still going through any problems with this person who's trying to come between you, just know that it's going to be your words or your partner's words or both of your words that's going to kind of get this person to kind of back off. I think it's been a long time coming, this. I think this person's been bothering you for a while, and I think it's going to start to die down now because of words. That's what I'm seeing. I hope that makes sense. So the next card you have for your future is the Five of Cups. So yeah, this person who's trying to come between you, or they were, they're not going to be happy, obviously. They're going to be quite upset, actually. And I think they're going to be upset to lose the access. I think they had some kind of access to your partner, and they're going to be very upset at losing that. I think in the past, anything that they felt, that was going against them, especially around you or your partner, I think that would have caused them to just create even more drama and problems and everything and escalate things. But I think at this time, they're just going to be a little bit quiet. They're going to be a bit more thoughtful of the whole situation, and they're going to kind of go into themselves a bit. I still think they'd like to keep the some kind of connection opened between them and your partner. I think they had some connection. I don't know if this is their ex or not. They had some connection with them, and that's going to be closed off. And they're going to be very upset about that. That's what it is that they're upset about, because I'm looking at this bridge here. So they'd love to see them again. They want to cross the bridge, but they're not going to be able to see how that happens. They might take some action in the future at some time, but they're not going to for a long time. That's what I'm seeing. The last card you have for your future is the Hermit. Yeah, so you're finally going to have some peace, especially inside your head while this person stays quiet for a while. Yeah, again, I think they might still try to come back at some time, not for a while, but I think they'll probably be around your partner's energy for a while. They might just be watching them a bit on social media or whatever. They're not going to do or say anything for a long, long time, though. And that's going to be huge, a huge relief to you, I think. You know, you have a really big spiritual side, and I think some of that might have been put to one side while you were dealing with this drama and this person. You know, even if you weren't directly involved in this, the energy around this was so heavy that I think it just drained you and just made you really tired, and you weren't able to do a lot that you wanted to do. So I think now you'll just be able to relax a bit more. You'll get this peace in your head without this drama, and you'll be able to let this kind of spirituality and this positivity flow back into yourself again. I can just see this peace flowing back into you again. So this is really beautiful. Strength and peace, they're the two big things I'm getting in this reading. Yeah, Taurus, I really do hope this did resonate, but you know, general readings can't always resonate with everyone, as you know. But again, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment if that's what you'd like to do. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.